John Fetterman hops on The View and absolutely nukes Sonny Hostin. And let's just say, fireworks ensue. You guys got to check this out.
John Fetterman was the first Democratic senator to visit Mar-a-Lago, and he says he's committed to working alongside Republicans, but can he find a middle ground with an administration that has spent the first week in power destroying Democratic Party policies, and let's say he's a little shaky with democracy. Okay? So please welcome to our table, finally, in reality, Senator John Fetterman.
I'll tell you what, this guy wears the same outfit anywhere he goes.
Oh, how nice of you to repurpose your inauguration outfit.
Is there a new dress code here or something?
You know there's no dress code here. It's hard to believe it's only been a week since the former president has retaken office. You were there at inauguration. He's been attempting to flex his power, but are you surprised by anything? I didn't even see what that was.
He's wearing a similar outfit at the inauguration, and you looked great.
I totally feel you. Okay, I get you. So, but are you surprised at anything you've been seeing, or do you anticipate that there's going to be changes that we should be prepped for that we're not thinking about?
I mean, honestly, I haven't been surprised by anything now. I mean, he's been doing essentially what he actually campaigned on that. He announced he is going to pardon the J6 individuals. He is going to absolutely go after the border. So there's a lot of things that he's already ran on. I mean, criticized a lot of it, and I don't agree with everything either, but it's undeniable he actually ran on that and been really upfront. He's like, I am your reputation, and he's, kind of making those moves. So that's kind of where we're at. Early on, immediately after the election, I was like, hey, we have a choice. We can freak out and follow every other thing around, like a cat, with a laser, after everyone. But I'm not that guy. I'm not going to be that Democrat. For me, there's things I'm going to agree with, I'm going to disagree with, but I'm in the business of finding wins for Pennsylvania and for the nation, and engaging the president. I see that as doing my job.
When did John Fetterman become, one, articulate, and two, when did he develop common sense? I cannot believe what I just heard there, because those are my sentiments exactly. I mean, where does Whoopi Goldberg get off saying that she's surprised by what Donald Trump is doing, threatening democracy? All that Trump is doing is everything that he promised us he would do. Every single thing. John Fetterman, I don't know where this attitude came from, but he's a breath of fresh air, and he's just talking common sense. I might not agree with what Donald Trump says 100%, but I want to give him a chance because I love this country, I love America, and I want the best for it. I mean, do you think Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, you think they carry that same attitude? Absolutely not. They just want to see Donald Trump fail no matter the cost.
So you went down to Mar-a-Lago and met with the president, and he actually was singing your praises after. He said you were fascinating, impressive, a common sense person. I agree with him on that. Not a liberal or a conservative. I'm curious what your takeaway was from meeting with him, and what, if you found that there's any specific policy areas you think you can work with him on.
Yeah, well, I think overall it was a positive experience. I mean, he was kind, he was cordial. It wasn't in any kind of theater. It wasn't trying to get your picture taken to kind of put something out on social media. It was just really a conversation. I actually spoke for over an hour. And overall, my wife was there, and she might be watching right now at home. Hi, Giselle, if you're home. And she was there as well, too. And we just had a conversation. And one of the things, can we agree on? Well, one of the things that was easy, like the Dreamers. The Dreamers, immigration, that. And Giselle was part of that community, and we both had the opportunity to express that. I would also, I'm on the Ag Committee, and I think protecting the SNAP as well, too. Food insecurity is really important issue. And some people on that side wants to go after that or weaponize that. So for me, those are kind of issues. Other things that we can agree on as well. But overall, it was just a straight up conversation. And I just have a rule, like I'm going to engage and have a conversation that's anyone playing it straight. And that's doing my job again.
You did get a lot of criticism for it from some people who thought you going to Mar-a-Lago gives cover to Trump by creating the solution that he's amenable to working with Democrats. I was very supportive of when people like Mitt Romney and Rob Portman worked with Joe Biden. So I understand the need for bipartisanship. I didn't love the optics of you going to Mar-a-Lago. He was going to, which is his palace. He was going to be in Washington a week later. But what was your goal? And do you feel ultimately you were successful?
Well, here's what happened. I was being lazy on the couch at like Friday night, and my team reached out saying, hey, and I don't know if this is like a trolling or a hoax, but they extended an invitation. You know, what do you think? I'm like, well, I mean, if they're playing it straight, then I think it's pretty reasonable to have a conversation. You know, inviting me to engage, and I visited it. So maybe some people would be critical of that, but you know, for me, engaging the president, I think when you're in this business, I mean, that's part of the job. Any more you would criticize Governor Newsom, you know, that, you know, received the president there after the fires in California. They are going to find a way to work together. I mean, that's where we are. And I hope maybe you are watching are tired of just like the venom and the hate. And it's like, I'd like more bipartisan kinds of things. And you are going to agree with things and you're going to disagree on things. And I'm going to pick my fights. And I'm not going to, and I've chosen not to add to the cheap heat online or go after those kinds of things. I've never found that helpful. And if those kinds of things were helpful, you know, we would be in a different situation. You know, we'd be the ones making those kinds of decisions with the new administration, with then Vice President Harris.
Yeah. Well, Senator, Trump's pardoning of roughly 1,500 January 6th rioters on his first day back in office is still reverberating. And when we last spoke with you in December, you were critical of Joe Biden having just pardoned his son, Hunter. So although President Trump ran on doing this, there was a discrepancy, and a lot of people in his inner circle said he wouldn't do it for violent offenders. So there was some surprise in what he ended up doing.
Of course not. I'm on record criticizing going after Hunter Biden. And I also agreed that the trial in this city, in New York, was politically motivated, that wouldn't otherwise have been prosecuted if it was someone else. And I've been very front and center in pardons. You know, I chaired that process in Pennsylvania. You know, I was all about delivering second chances, and I was very proud of that. And I think that's really the cornerstone of criminal justice reform is if you are following the rules and you've paid your debt. I do believe you do. I do believe there needs to be a path for redemption. And this process, you know, whether Joe Biden or whether President Trump, you know, I don't agree with many of those pardons, especially on the J6 ones. And I've called that out. I've been on record saying that that's just not true. If you're going to abuse the process, you know, somebody that's been very committed as part of that, has made that part of my career. I think it's sad because it's been politicized. And I think, if anything, that might have set some things back because people assume now, you know, depending on what team's in office, you know, those are the people that get some redemption.
The View is just so freaking hypocritical. They talk about Trump and the January 6th pardons. Are you kidding me? Have these people not suffered enough? All these people were essentially locked in jail and they threw away the key. They did not get any due process, and all that they did essentially was walk between the velvet ropes inside the Capitol. Do you think that justifies locking somebody up for 4 years? I mean, even if there was a little violence involved, did he not suffer enough? Locked away from his family for 4 years without a fair day in court? And the craziest thing about it is they'll spin this narrative like Trump was only helping out his allies. They will never mention all of the pardons that Joe Biden let out. He did exponentially more than any president in American history. Not to mention, he did his entire family. I mean, how are you not calling that out? What are these people afraid of?
That the 34-count case in which Donald Trump was found guilty of various financial crimes was politically motivated here in New York?
I found that when the judicial system gets weaponized and targeted political enemies for political gain, I think that's inappropriate, and I think that degrades our collective trust in this a very important institution, whether that's on a Democratic going after a Republican or a Republican going after a Democratic one. And I like to think I call it strikes and balls, because the judicial system has to remain impartial. I mean, that's really the cornerstone of our society.
Would that be the way that things worked? Wouldn't that be great if that's the way that things actually worked?
What is Whoopi Goldberg talking about? Wouldn't it be great if that's the way things worked? Hello, lady. That's the way things always worked in this country up until you guys decided to lock up your political opponent, which was Donald Trump. The man was 78 years of age, never committing one criminal crime in his entire life, and then he decides he's going to run for president. 6 months later, he gets 34 charges thrown against him out of thin air. And these people do not say once, oh, this is not right, we should not be attacking our opponents. They were encouraging it. If you want to talk about, oh, wouldn't it be nice if that's the way things were? Maybe if you had a backbone and you decided to stand up for Donald Trump because you knew what they were doing is wrong, then we could have possibly avoided one of the most embarrassing times in American history, attacking your political enemy because you fear they may win. Just the way that Sunny Hostin was sitting there looking at John Fetterman, you knew it was eating her up because it destroyed her and the View's entire narrative that Donald Trump is an evil person that's going to take his wrath out on everybody. No, he's a very fair, open-minded guy, and John Fetterman is not ashamed to call ball ball, strike a strike. He just wants a fair shot for everybody. This is what we need in America. I'm not some dead-fast Republican who's going to agree with every Republican policy, just as he's not a steadfast Democrat who's going to agree with every Democratic policy. You need to have give and take. That's what this country was founded upon. Public debate and the free expression of ideas. We don't need any more groupthink in this country, and that's essentially what The View is. It's just the same 4 or 5 people repeating the same thing on end. John Fetterman went into the lion's den, and he just said it how it is. And he was not afraid of what they may have said, because he was on the side of truth. Yeah, let me know your thoughts in this down below. Why do you think John Fetterman has had such a change of heart since he entered Washington, D.C.? Let me know. I'd love to know your opinions. And if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.